it's really kind of a draconian attitude, and it's hard to say whether they're really correct in feeling like that or not. I mean, I've never really been to a show or a venue where there wasn't anything going on, and I haven't been to one where they shut anything down because of people doing things. Mm-hmm. I've heard more stories about places shut down because people got drunk and started fights than anything else. And drinking is perfectly legal. So, you know, I mean, it's really kind of a tricky area. I am really super on the fence about that kind of stuff, and something like that is really unfortunate, that a whole event would have to be canceled and that people would try to kind of like hem and haw around it and not be communicative about it.
Right. And for the record, Super Geek League as a band has never canceled or no shows. So when we go out and party and be a band, we're all gear and all there. So that has never happened. It's just, you know, performing in, like, you know, those raves, that's what happened. So as a band, we haven't had that. So for the record, let me clear that up right now.
Speaking of bands and canceling shows, now this didn't happen to me because I didn't really make an effort to see these guys, but there's a hip-hop, kind of like an underground hip-hop group that is notorious for canceling entire tours and sets of shows for pretty much for no reason, and calling it performance art and calling it like and things. The band is called Death Grips.
Huh.
And if you do a search online, you'll probably find a couple stories about it, about how they've built up a tour, they got going, and right before the tour was supposed to start, like maybe a few days before, they cancel it. With like no real notice, no details, just they cancel it. They say, no, we're not doing it. And they could be supporting another band, and it doesn't matter. They're just done. And it's happened more than once, which is what kind of sets me off about it. Because, I mean, if it happens one time, okay, you're a little angsty, you're moody, you're a band, okay. I can see that. But they've done it more than once. And at one point, right before they were supposed to start a tour, they actually decided to, in quotes, because it wasn't actually true, to break up. And they wrote a little like breakup note, a band breakup note on a napkin and posted it on Twitter.
What?
And that was their tour cancellation.
Wow.
And they called it an artistic statement. That's what they called it. So then you have to think, wait a minute, are these guys serious? Is that what it was? Are they, really talking back about how corporate music is these days, or are they just full of it? Can't say for sure, but it's just something like that. It's like, did they really need to do something like that to make their statement, if that's what they were trying to do? They were actually supposed to support, and here's your second opportunity to
Google it,
to drink up. See, there's one for Shels. But they were supposed to open up for 9 Inch Nails. So there's your second drink. And they canceled. And it was such a well-known thing that's something that they do, that Trent Reznor had made a bit of a statement about it, saying, yeah, I should have known better than to bring those guys on board. Sorry, everybody, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the 9 Inch Nails tour went on, because he wasn't about to cancel. But, yeah, it's just one of those things that certain bands have it in their heads that it's not that big a deal, and they, it doesn't matter if you spent a bunch of money on tickets and stuff. That's obviously your own fault. That was kind of the attitude that people got from them.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just for sweets, I'll do this for sweets only. Everyone doesn't do it. Sweets, yes, you should Google it. Alrighty, so on my Facebook, I'm only going to give out the first names and their locations. because these are my friends or on my Facebook. So Paul from Tacoma, it's all good. It doesn't matter if they have a good reason why they shouldn't play. I will check their shows out next time. So he's a positive person. I love Paul. Paul's awesome. Denise out of Kansas City, no show depends on the reason. Did they call to say why? And if so, was it visible or verbal? If so, if they're going to reschedule, if a no-show prevents a reason is given, nothing said, charge them for that they said the show, and no more ask them, and don't ask them back. Their dollar, their time. Very true. Victoria out there in Seattle, as long as the tickets are refunded, or even better yet, the concert gets rescheduled and all the tickets sold are honored. A band, last time I checked, is made of people. And people have lives where shit happens. True.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's one of the very good points that I wanted to bring up earlier on before I went into my story. Like, I don't know the guys from Jane's Addiction, and maybe they were struggling with something. I don't know, maybe it wasn't. I'm still kind of burned about it, but I don't want to go out and be like, oh, well, they're a bunch of crap guys. They're all jerks. They knew it on purpose, blah, blah. I don't know that, Mm-hmm. I mean, I can be upset, sure, because I have every right to be upset because I was looking forward to going to this show. But, yeah, in a lot of cases, you don't know what the situation is unless they tell you. And sometimes even if they tell you, they can't tell you the whole thing because it's personal business.
Right.
Maybe somebody's got family issues or whatnot. Who knows?
Right.
But, that kind of stuff is really kind of tricky because you can't tell for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Also, another friend of mine, Troy from Seattle, a musician is a service provider. If you pay for that service and they fail to provide it, then they need to find a way to make it right. Reschedule, refund, however what they do. But at the end of the day, it's just customer service. So there's another example.
That's a good point too. I mean, yeah. As much as musicians are artistes, so to speak, we're still providing a service, and if we want people to pay us, then we certainly have to practice good customer service. If we're just doing it just for fun, then whatever, we can do what we want because it was free. Who cares? But if you're trying to provide a service for people, then people aren't just your fans, they're also partially your customers. And
right.
They're funding your tour, basically, at some point. So, you do owe it to your fans, at least on that level, if you're doing it more as a business than anything else. If you're in a band to make money, then you need to make sure that you're preserving your income pool, and the only way to do that is to treat your fans well. Right.
And also, if you are doing this for the money, for one, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. But though your fans is your reasons to go out there and tour. We have tons of fans that tour and respect their fans and love their fans, because without the fans, their band would not go on. For example, this show here, believe it or not, we have 91 people following the show. We only need 8 more so we can get on iHeartRadio. And then on our Facebook, even though people are not following it here on Spreaker, we got by 222 people liking us here on Facebook. Without all of you guys, this show would not continue on. I mean, you guys make up the show. After episode 37, you would think that we have to appreciate all of you because you guys are our fans. What if all of a sudden we don't show up, or we cancel and not tell you guys anything? Which, by the way, that almost happened.
That would have been ironic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right? Well, how would you guys feel if we're no longer here and we didn't tell you anything? It's the exact same thing. Our show, in a way, is our customer service because we're providing a service for not just bands, but just for, talk about the music. And again, so we'll go back. We almost had to cancel this show right here because I wasn't too sure we're going to even have one because I've been financing the podcast since December. And I'm getting to the point where I cannot do that anymore. So I'm really pushing the fundraisers and my sponsors are kicking in, so helping us with it. Without Marjorie Delaney from Magical Things, we would not be here right now. Period. The show would not be going on right now. So the topic would be ironic, just like Spider said. Of course, we'll be back next week.
Oh, by the way, yeah, we're not going to be talking anymore. That was it. That was your whole topic. So, good night. See you guys.
See you later. Bye. So, anyway, like, for example, it does happen. If bands decide to cancel this show here, that's fine. That's cool. It's great. Just let us know. Just don't... whatever. It's just let us know ahead of time. If we're going to promote you for, like, about a month and a half and you guys can't commit, that's fine. Just let us know ahead of time, If you're going to be a no-show, let us know why, because maybe we'll reschedule. If you don't tell why, then you're not going to be coming back on the show. That's the way it is. And your music get pulled. That's how I look at it. Why run a show when you're not going to be here? Why should we run our show if you guys are not going to be here? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm ranting. So...
But yeah, it's kind of a complicated subject, and from both sides, there's somebody that's going to be not happy, regardless of which way it goes. So
exactly,
if you are in a band and you are faced with the option where you might have to cancel something, be communicative. Tell your fans what's up straight out. You might lose a couple fans because maybe they're just, jerky people. And it happens. Everybody's got fans that are just kind of like, whatever, man. I've been listening to you since 3rd grade and now you suck. Stuff like that. Whatever. I mean, people are going to be people. But as long as you're open about what you're doing, most people are going to give you the benefit of the doubt. As long as you're not canceling show after show after show after show after show after tour, different things like that. Now, on the other side, if you're a fan and you're going to see a show and something gets canceled, always check and see if the tickets are still going to be honored at a later location, see what the band has said about it, go to their Facebook, see if there's a press release about it, see what's being said before you make up your mind. You're going to be angry on the spot, I'm sure, because if you go to a venue and it's closed or something happens right off the spot, like a day or two, and you made all these plans and poured a bunch of money into a big weekend trip, I understand. You're going to be mad. So would I. But once you calm down, once you've cooled down a little bit, see what the band is saying, and if it's something that's not like a straight out like, no, we just didn't want to do it, screw you guys, then give them a chance, and again, see if they'll have a reschedule a show, or at the very least refund the tickets. A lot of bands that I follow are really good about rescheduling shows. I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen until after a tour is over, so you have to wait almost half a year or whatever, depending on when they're in, but they get honored. Sometimes that's just impossible due to whatever logistical reasons, and they'll usually tell you that, hey, sorry, we don't know when we're going to do it, we'll make it up to you as soon as we can, we don't know how yet, but we'll get back to you on it.
Right.
And fans will remember. Fans will remember.
Oh, yes, they will.
Remember this show 2 years ago? You were supposed to play my hometown and you didn't because of blah, blah. I'm still waiting. And people will remember. So, as from both sides of the perspective, just stay cool, stay communicative, and see what happens.
Right. All right. We got to take a small break, and we get back. We will continue on with this topic because I got more news on Black Pussy. You guys know about Black Pussy, who gave us the tagline, controversial because of their band name. I'm writing this down because we come back, I may actually forget. Spider will too. So, talk about Black Pussy. Because we got some stories too about them canceling their shows, even though it was not